We have a digital bulletin, which is right over the coffee table. You can go ahead and scan there, so you'll be up to date on everything going on here at Battle Mountain Assembly over the next month. I think probably next week we'll have further announcements coming out, but just to review what's already going on. With Helping Hands, the first Saturday of each month. I like the new slides.
Thanks.
Love the slides. Hey. Thank you, Sister Becky, for all she does behind the scenes. I don't think I could pastor without a right-hand person like that. It's incredible. So, yeah. So Helping Hands, first Saturday of each month. The next time will be on June 6th. So get that in your calendars. If you're able to give an hour to 2 hours on a Saturday morning, we'd love to have you be a part of what God is doing through that ministry. It's just such an effective way to really be the hands and feet of Jesus, really practical ministry. Just to reach the community. We typically feed between 100 and 150 people each month. So, next, we have the Battle Mountain Assembly Bow Club. Well, just started out. We got a couple signatures going here. So we're looking for basically somebody to mow the field. God has blessed us with a field. We haven't figured out what to do with the field. I mean, we've been a church for like 60 years at some point, and we still haven't figured out what to do with the field, but God's given us this field, and we love the field, but we love our neighbors as well. And the neighbors don't love the weeds that grow in our field. So we want to be good neighbors because that's what Jesus calls us to do. And so it's just a once-a-month thing, or even maybe just a once-a-year thing. You can sign up to just one day each month get the lawn mowed. So whether that's if you want to do it one time this summer, that'd be great. If you want to do it a couple times, that'd be great. But we're just looking to do it once a month, and so we have a sign-up sheet in the back for that. So go ahead and sign up and be a part of the Battle Mountain Assembly Bow Club. We have a game night coming up this Wednesday night right here in the sanctuary. I don't know exactly what we're going to be playing yet. I'll bring some board games. If you have any games that you want to bring, please do. I don't know if Rob's off or if Rob wants to hook up his system.
We'll bring it. Not over here. I'll bring it.
Okay. We might be able to do some video games up on the screen again as well. So I don't know exactly what it'll look like, but kind of have some fun on Wednesday night. So Wednesday night, 7:30, right here in the sanctuary. We have men's breakfast coming up. That is not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 23rd. The 23rd, so 8 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. We'll have some food. I don't know what we're going to have yet. Brother Clark, some of you guys know Brother Clark. He's kind of taking it over. It's kind of really weird, but like, okay, you got a passion for it, go for it. So kind of letting him do his thing and supporting him. And, it's a little weird because, like, if you guys don't know him, he doesn't come to the church, but his wife pastors 2 churches, and so he supports her in Carlin and in Elko. So he's kind of taking it over. So we'll find out what we're gonna have for breakfast that day soon. But if you're a dude, come on out, have some breakfast, have some fellowship time. Should be really good morning. Next, we have prayer night on Wednesday the 27th. It's also 7:30 right here in the sanctuary. And I believe there's one more announcement. We have outdoor service, which will be the last day, not just last Sunday of the month, the 31st. We're going to have it at Lions Park. We had a service at Lions Park last year. I think it went really well. I'd never been to Lions Park before our service last year, and I was like, this is a really nice park. So we'll go back there again this year. We'll have a barbecue. Please sign up. If you want to bring desserts, a side, condiments, drinks. And we'll kind of make it a community thing. Just each bring something to share. And then the church will provide hot dogs, hamburgers, buns, and the like. So go ahead and sign up, and then we'll figure out what it's going to look like exactly when we get there, I guess. So 31st, last day of this month. So 3 Sundays from now, we'll be at Lions Park. We will not be here. So when you get here, the door will be locked, and there'll be a sign saying that we're at Lions Park. Join us. Same time, 10 a.m. I think that's it for announcements. That is it for announcements. So let's go ahead and get into the message today. We're going to take a 1-week break from our journey through the book of Hebrews. I'm going to do a message centered on moms. Being a mother is one of the biggest honors that God can give to any person. Being a mother or a father, I don't qualify for either one of those, but being a mom is just one of the highest callings that any person has. And yes, motherhood is a true calling from God. It's not something that is a happenstance thing. It's not something that is anything lesser than a calling. Some people want to be moms their whole lives. They grow up picturing what their kids are going to look like, picking out the names of their kids. Maybe even when they're 10, 11 years old, you have your names for like all 4 of the kids that you're going to have already picked out. Some people just can't wait for that opportunity. And for some, it comes too fast. They're not ready for it. Whether the pregnancy is unplanned, whether it's through evil circumstances like rape, whether it's from a poor decision made at a young age. Some people find themselves being a mother but aren't quite ready for that responsibility. But being a mom, there's really no way to underscore the importance of what you do every single day. You're bringing up another human in society. You're literally molding their mind, teaching them right from wrong, teaching them what core values are, how to live by those values. Teaching somebody how to live life, be a successful adult, be able to enjoy their childhood. All those things are responsibilities that fall to a mom. It's a lot of pressure. For some women, Mother's Day is a very difficult day. Maybe you've experienced the death of a child, which is a terrible, terrible thing. Maybe you're in here and you're unable to become pregnant. You've tried for years, and it's just never happened for you for one reason or another. Maybe you've been through a miscarriage. God sees the pain that you're going through. God sees the pain that you've been through. He's right there to walk with you through it. It's not always fair. But we can trust that God is good, even when the circumstances are not. So today we're going to look at 3 different moms in the Bible and hopefully learn from some of their examples. Each of them was used by God specifically as a mom in a major way. What they did for their kids, who their kids grew up to be, but the specific influence that they had on their kids. We're going to explore how the influence of a godly mom played such a key role in the life of 3 of the greatest leaders within the Bible. So the first mom we're going to look at is a lady named Hannah. You guys may be familiar with her, you may not be familiar with her. But she definitely falls into the struggle category. She struggled to get pregnant. She tried for many, many years. It never happened. So we're going to pick up the story. We're going to get some names here, so if you don't know the name, don't worry about names. Okay, so 1 Samuel chapter 1. There was a certain man from, I don't even want to try to pronounce that, a Zuphite from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and Ephraimite. So basically, all you need to know is there's this dude whose name is Elkanah. So he had 2 wives. One was called Hannah, and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had none. Year after year, this man went up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty in Shiloh. So there's a guy, successful guy. He had 2 wives. Not condoning 2 wives. Remember, different time frame, different part of the world. It is what it is. But he had 2 wives. One was named Hannah, and she was his favorite. Should there be a favorite? Once again, different time frame, different part of the world, not on that. She was unable to have kids. He had a second wife named Peninnah. She had many kids. But she was kind of jealous of Hannah because Hannah was the favorite. So she would do things to bring her the other wife down. In that time and place, it's considered, if somebody was unable to have children, that woman was considered cursed specifically by God. It was a very rough thing already, just like it is today, for somebody who's unable to have children. And those days, maybe it was even a little worse because of just the connotations that it carried. So it was very odd that Hannah was still the favorite, though she was still even approved of by her husband, because in that time, usually somebody who is unable to have children will be kind of put out, become a servant, and kind of lose their status as a wife. Sounds terrible, but that's where it was. So Hannah was obviously devastated that she was unable to have kids. And she was not very happy at home, even though she got a lot of perks, but just it was a very rough environment because she was constantly being verbally abused by the other wife. So after years and years of trying to have kids, she went to God. So every year at Passover, people from communities would travel to Jerusalem, to the temple, to worship, to pray, to celebrate, to party, all those things. And so every community would have to send at least one family. And her husband, Elkanah, for whatever reason, was the guy that represented their community at the festival, at the temple, year after year after year. So if we put it in our modern context, it would basically be like all the small towns here in northern Nevada. Every family in each town would have to send a representative to Reno, basically, to celebrate a one big church. And they'd be there for a week. They'd go there to pray, they'd go there to party. The pray and party, those things don't really sound like they go together, but that was the culture. That was how they worshiped God. And so, because they were going there every year, this time Hannah went with her husband. But she wasn't really there to party. She was there to pray. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, and I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life. So she was literally so desperate to have a son. And she's like, I won't even raise him. Like, I'll give him back to you. He'll live here at the church, at the temple, all of his life. Just let me have a son. No razor will ever be used on his head. As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli, who was the high priest at the time, observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drunk, and said to her, How long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. Not so, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. Hannah was distressed. To put it mildly, she was very distressed. She was praying in her heart and sobbing bitterly. Her lips were moving, but there was no sound coming out. She was just there in anguish, praying against the wall. And Eli is the high priest, right? He's overseeing the temple, and he's watching all the people pray at the wall. There was a wall in Jerusalem, there still is. You can go to pray. It's called the Wailing Wall, if you want to look it up. And so he's watching the people pray, and he sees this one lady who is in major distress, whose lips are moving, there's no sound coming out, who's crying like crazy. And he's like, man, she's drunk. She's not even here for the right reasons. So he goes to kick her out. Like, But through these tears, she was praying for a miracle. Even though there's no sound coming out of her lips, her heart was trying to connect with God. Just pleading for this one miracle. She only wanted one thing in life, and that was a son. It was something that she was unable to accomplish without God's help. how desperate she was that she would even raise this kid. She'd have the kid and she'd give him back to God. Just for knowing that she'd be a mother. Verse 17, Eli answered, "Go in peace. May the God of Israel grant you what you've asked of him." Now, did he think that she was like real? Did he still think she was strong? She was just like, get out of here. Like, sure, like, you're praying, God's gonna answer your prayer, go away. It's kind of what it seems like. It's kind of in a hurry to get rid of her. But she believed what he said. She said, "May your servant find favor in your eyes." Then she went her way and ate something, and her face was no longer downcast. So I'm a guy, right? And guys, we like food, right? Guys like to eat. It's a thing. They say that the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I don't disagree with that, right? But there's something about when a woman eats, how it can change her whole entire life. We don't relate to that as guys. If I'm mad, I eat something, I'm still mad. If I'm in a bad mood and I eat something, I'm still in a bad mood. But it's weird because a lot of times when women eat something, it changes their whole mood. You can't enjoy your meal and be mad at the same time. You come back, right? But that moment, there's a little bit of happiness there. It's I can't relate to that. But that's what Hannah has here. Because she's so distraught, and then she gets something to eat and she's all better. I don't get it. Early the next morning, they arose and worshipped before the Lord, and then went back to their home in Ramah. Elkanah made love to his wife, Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." The name Samuel means heard by God. So they left the temple, they went back to their home, they did the thing, and God answered her prayer. It really seems like there's nothing as powerful as a praying woman. And a praying man is also super powerful, right? But today's Mother's Day, so we're gonna focus on the women here. Praying mothers are such an incredible thing. Just in my life, I've seen so many miracles from a praying mom, a praying grandma. Just people come to Christ because of the persistent prayers of their mom, the persistent prayers of their grandma. Seeing people rescued from some really dangerous, some really crazy situations because of their praying moms, because of their praying grandmoms. Maybe it's a church tradition thing or a situational thing, but it's just amazing to see what God does through a praying mom. So Hannah had a son that she so desperately wanted, the one that she begged and begged God for. And she did the really hard thing. When he was 2 years old, she brought him back with her to the temple. And she left him there. At the age of 2, he was raised by the priests, and not even by her. She only had him for 2 years. But she never forgot him. Every year, she'd go with her husband back to the temple, and she did him a new coat, and bring him a new coat, and see her son that one time every year. But God continued to bless her. She had 3 more sons and 2 daughters. Next woman we're going to look at is a lady named Jochebed. You might know who that is. You might not know who that is. Probably wouldn't know who that is. But we think often of the father as the protector of the household, and that is the father's role. But sometimes the mother is the protector as well, right? We all know the term mama bear. Nobody wants to cross paths with a mama bear, whether it's a real live bear or whether it's a woman who's really upset because you did something to her kids. Not something you're going to cross paths with. It's a person who's driven by love for their kids, but also a strong faith for the future that their kids are going to have. And that was exactly what this lady Jochebed was. And she was up against some really extreme circumstances. See, when she found out she was pregnant, there was a new law that just passed in the land. So Jochebed lived in Egypt almost about 700 years or so before Christ. So way back in the day. And her and her husband were slaves in Egypt. And they had 2 kids already. And while she was pregnant with her third, this new law came out by the king of Egypt. And he said that every newborn Israeli son would have to be fed to the crocodiles in the Nile River. I don't think that was a law that she was planning on keeping. I think she wanted to see her son grow up. So what's a mom to do? What even could she do? There's no way that she's going to obey this new law. But if this baby is found out in her house, her whole family's going to be killed. Her other 2 kids, her husband, herself. It's a really terrible, terrible time to be pregnant, I think. So she did everything in her power to keep her newborn son safe. And then she trusted God for the rest. So when she saw that she was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she couldn't hide him any longer, how did she hide him in her home for 3 months? Like, this baby's 3 months old. If he's screaming, like, they're going to be found out. So, like, this is like a really quiet cave if she can hide it in our home for 3 months. Anyway, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch so it would float. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. So she can't hide him in the house anymore, it's getting a little too loud. So she takes him to the place that's supposed to be his death, right? The Nile River. I mean, granted, that's where the community space, but she puts him right on the river in like a little makeshift boat basket thing. She has an older sister, Dangar. It's really dangerous. She's trusting God that He's going to provide. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt's daughter, went down to the Nile to bathe. And her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. And then she said, "Here, crocodile, here, crocodile, here, crocodile." She didn't do that. She didn't do that. That would have been terrible. But she saw the sister, and she went and got the sister. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes," she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take the baby and nurse him for me, and I'll pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. God provided. It became her job as a slave to take care of this baby that Pharaoh's daughter had just adopted. It literally became her job to take care of this kid. How incredible God works sometimes. Jochebed loved her son. She saw great potential in his life. She knew that she couldn't protect him herself, so she trusted in God. And God made a way. She risked her own life, the life of her entire family to keep him safe. But in her faith, God did a miracle. Her son was not only able to grow up and stay alive, he became one of the greatest leaders that history has ever known. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." I'll start with the faith of the mother. Never underestimate the faith of a praying mother. The last mother we're going to look at today is probably the most well-known, which I'm sure she's the most well-known, because her son is super, super famous because his name is Jesus, and her name was Mary. There are times in life that every one of us needs a little push. And Jesus was no different. Jesus was super motivated. Jesus was super confident. I mean, he was perfect. And yet his mom still pushed and prodded him too. This is the story maybe that I can relate the most to Jesus, because it's like, I've had that situation. Not exactly, but like, sometimes we need that push from our moms. Sometimes we don't want to take the next step in life. But our mom can be the greatest encouragement. to step out in faith. John chapter 2. On the third day, the wedding took place in Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." You know it's different when your mom says something to you, when other people say it, you know? And I mean, it's Jesus, so like, it's probably a little different anyhow, because like, if I'm at a party and somebody looks at me and says, "We're out of chips," I don't expect them to like have them turn my car keys into chips. But somehow Jesus knew what was going on. And his mother's like, "They're out of wine." So I don't know why Jesus didn't just go to the store and get more wine. But obviously he knew that wasn't what his mom wanted. The other interesting thing about this story is that Mary had never actually seen Jesus do a miracle. Like, this was the first recorded miracle that we have in the entire life of Jesus. First of many, but it was the first. So how did Mary know that he could do this? Or he could do anything? I mean, granted, how he was born, that was a little miraculous too. But obviously, she's like, "Okay, son, like it's time to come out. It's time to be God, because you are God. It's time to blow people's minds." Jesus is like, "Nah, it's not." But Mary continues to push him. Jesus said, "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." First of all, he calls his mom a woman. Like, that's a no-no in our society. And actually, most Bibles will actually have a note that says that this is not respectful in Greek, which was the language being spoken here. So it was not meant to be disrespectful. But when it's translated into English, there's no great way to translate it that makes it sound respectful. Because obviously, like, you can't get much more disrespectful than the way this is worded. But in the actual Greek, there's no disrespect to his mom intended here. But his mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." So his mom's like, "Hey, Jesus, take care of this." And he's like, "There's other people that can take care of it." And so instead of arguing with him, she just goes to the servants and just like, "Do whatever he tells you." I mean, if I'm Jesus, like, put your arms up. Like, what in the world? Like, I just said no. Have you ever been voluntold by your mom? Like, right? Like, it's a thing. It's like, "Okay, you need to take care of this. Somebody else can do it. It's okay." And then, like, you have no choice but to do it. Like, that's not your decision anymore. This was no longer Jesus' decision to figure out the problem of running out of wine at this party. Like, so, since he was put on the spot, Jesus told the servants what to do. Nearby stood 6 stone water jars. They were the kind used by Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. So these were very large, like, basins, essentially. And if we want to be kind of gross about it, it's what the people used to wash their hands with. So it's literally still water that people have been washing their hands in all day.
Delicious.
Yes. So the water was poured out, and it was filled with new water, because Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw out some and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. And he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine was given after the guests had had too much to drink." Once they're a little tipsy, they can't tell the difference, kind of thing. "But you have saved the best till now." What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory. His disciples believed in him. Jesus' first miracle on earth was at the behest of his mother's, essentially pastoring him, really. Mary was just a regular woman. She had some miracles done in her life. But God placed her in a very unique position to be an authority figure over his son. When God sent his son to earth, he equipped him with a mother who loved him, a mother who pushed him, a mother who nurtured him, a mother who's always there for him. It's obviously as important for any child today as it was for Jesus. And mothering doesn't stop just because your child is grown up. Even in their 20s, 30s, 40s, they still need their mom. If I get some music, we're going to go ahead and start closing here. Motherhood is a position that should bring honor. We should honor our moms. It's one of the 10 commandments, right? Honor your father and your mother. There's 3 types of moms. There's a lot of different ways that we can have a relationship with our mom. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. That's a reality that, unfortunately, too many of us have to face. If you're here today, maybe your mother is amazing. You have a great relationship with her. Maybe today's a day to remind her how much she means to you, how important she is to you. Maybe your mother isn't the greatest. Maybe there's some murky waters to navigate in that relationship. Maybe today's a good day to reach out, to try to make some fences. Or maybe there needs to be some space there. Maybe no contact is a choice, which really stinks. But it's a reality that is faced by a lot of people. Or maybe your mother has already passed into eternity. Maybe today's a day to set aside some time to reflect on her impact in your life and on the legacy that she left behind. Wherever you're at in your relationship with your mom today, I just want to remind you that if it's a good thing, it's something to be thankful to God for. If it's not a good thing, I want to remind you that it's not fair. It's something you've had to walk through, and God is still standing by you. And He'll put people in your life to help fill that role. Maybe the mom you have in your life isn't your biological mom. Maybe it's a stepmom. Maybe it's a grandma or an aunt. Today's the day to honor them. To be thankful for what they're doing in that role in your life. So we go ahead and close. Just with every head down and every eye closed. I just want us to pray a blessing today over the women in here and over the mothers in here. Lord God, we just come to you this morning. We say thank you for the gift of motherhood. All of us have had some type of a mom in our life. We say thank you for the impact they have left on our life to mold us into who we are today. For the moms that are in here today, Lord God, I just pray to give them wisdom, Lord God, and how to raise their children, whether they're kids, whether they're grown adults. There's still a lot of work to be done for mom. For the ladies, the young ladies in here today who will one day be moms, I pray that you would continue to shape them into the woman that you want them to be. And when the time is right, that they would be the mother that you've called them to be. Look at how we love you today. We just say thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Happy Mother's Day one last time. We're so thankful that you choose to spend your Mother's Day here at Battle Mountain Assembly. We love you. We hope to see you again soon. God bless.